is Nay Fit with Nay Fitness University, and today we're going to talk about that booty. I mean, what else will we be talking about on my page? All we talk about is butts all day. I am the glute goddess, the queen of glutes, so that's what we're going to talk about today. I really want to get into some of the questions I've been getting in my emails and DMs about, hey, why are my glutes not growing? I'm doing this exercise, I'm doing that, but nothing seems to be working. So we're going to go over why it isn't working and what you can do to fix it. Question of the day, why is it not working? I'm training, and my booty's not growing. What is going on? So, number one is posture. If you have a tendency, and a lot of females do have a tendency to kind of poke their butt out with the lean forward type of posture, this is going to cause problems even when you're lifting, not only with your walking, your posture, but lifting as well. If you have this posture where you're leaning forward, kind of poking the butt out, it's going to put a lot of emphasis on your quads and your hip flexors. I can even feel it when I poke my butt out this. I can, like that, I can feel my quads actually engage. It's going to put more emphasis on the quad and the hip flexors instead of on your glutes when you're lifting. And that's where you want the emphasis to be, is in your glutes. When you're pushing the weight up, you don't want to feel it in your quad and your hip flexor, because that is quad dominant. You want to feel it more in your heels, push through your heels, hamstring, and in your glutes. So you want to put the emphasis there. So instead of this butt poking out motion right here, you need to roll your hips in and bring your chest up so that your spine is aligned, your alignment is correct, and your posture is good. Number two, mind-muscle connection. First things first, if you can't feel the muscle you're training, how are you going to grow the muscle you're training? There's no way for you to know if you're doing the exercise right, if you're really getting the most out of your exercises, if you can't really even feel it, if it's not warmed up. You need to prime and fire up the glutes before you do your exercises so that you can get the most out of them. And lastly is rep range. When I'm in the gym, especially, sorry ladies, when I see the ladies working out, a lot of the time I see them doing their exercises. They have a pretty light weight on there. They might just be using the bar, or maybe using, 95 pounds, just 25 on the other side, and they're just going away, pumping away, doing a whole bunch of reps. If the weight is so light that you can do 15, 20, 30 reps, it's way too light. It's too light to stress the muscle. You have to stress the muscle in order for it to grow. That's the only way you can tear open the muscle fibers, and the only way that you're gonna receive that protein and everything that you need to get into your body so that the muscle can heal and grow. Now, a lot of people think that, oh, it's burning, so that must mean it's growing. If those aren't the same thing. Or, oh, I'm getting this great pump, so it must be growing. That's not the same thing. They're not the same. You need to change the weight that you're using, increase the weight, and be in a rep range where you're between 8 to 12 reps. By the time you get to the 8th rep, you should really be feeling the burn. You should really be like, oh my God, I can't do another one. By the time you get to 12 reps, you should be like, okay, I'm done, that's enough. And you should be like racking it and feel spent. If you're not feeling spent, if you can rack your weight and just go pick up your cell phone and text your girlfriends and all that other stuff, and run around the gym, do some laps, that means you're not working hard enough, you're not training heavy enough, and it's not enough to stress the muscle for it to grow. So rep range, posture, and mind-muscle connection. Let's get into the details. This way, yes, sir. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is work on mind-muscle connection. We're gonna work on firing up and priming up the glutes to get them ready for our compound exercises, okay? First exercise we're going to do is a glute bridge. Now, we're not reinventing the wheel or anything like that, but there are ways to do it to get the most out of it, and so that you can really work on your mind-muscle connection and really feel the burn and feel what you're doing. So we're gonna go back to what we were talking about posture. Now, I have this problem just like a lot of ladies and a lot of people. When I lay on my back, there is a huge gap right here. This gap right here, I can probably pass a little car under here, right? It's because of my bubble, and just because that's just the way my spine is shaped. So instead of keeping it like that, you want to roll your hips under and get that back flat on the ground. You want your heels flat on the as well. You're gonna push up through your heels and make sure that your knees do not collapse inside. When your knees collapse inside, that is taking away from the glute. That is putting all the emphasis back in the quad and the hip flexor again, and you don't want that. That's why you see a lot of people wearing bands when they work out, because that's gonna help with their external rotation, which is gonna help put the emphasis back on your gluteus medius, which is the outside of your glute, the side glute. And the more you develop your side glute, the more you can see it from the front, right? So you don't want your knees to collapse in, and you don't want pronation of the feet. You want to externally rotate wider. So we're gonna go here. Make sure you maintain contact with your lower back right here. Put my arms up here so you can see. Push up through your heels, squeezing the glute. You'll immediately feel the difference if you keep the contact in your back. Push up through your heels. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds, return to the floor. I want you to maintain that position. Don't allow your body to arch again. You want to keep that lower back flat on the floor. Up, 1, 2, down. Up, 1, 2, down. And so the next exercise we're going to do, which is similar to this one, but instead we're going to have it butterfly. You want to put your heels together on the floor. This is once again focusing on your external rotation, keeping those knees outwards, which is going to put more emphasis on the gluteus medius. Keeping that back flat on the floor, pushing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Each one of those, I want you to do 5 to 10 reps for each one of those, and I'll tell you what order to do that in soon with your compound exercises. The next exercise I want you to do, these are 3 different exercises. I want you to do for at least 3 rounds as well to get you fired up for your compound exercises. This is going to be kind of like a kickback and almost like a lateral kick, but it's neither. Instead of coming up like a kickback or out like a fire hydrant or a lateral raise, it's going to be out at a diagonal, like this. These are one of my favorite things I like to do. Follow through your heel and squeeze your glute as you come up to get my glutes fired up. Right here, 5 to 10 reps each foot. I can't do the other side. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna start your workout with those. You're gonna do 5 to 10 reps of your glute bridges, and then the single leg ones, you need to do 10 on each leg, okay? Do those for 3 rounds before you start your first compound exercise. And then you wanna do them between your compound exercises as well, 5 to 10, depending on fatigue. That's why I say 5 to 10. If you're getting very fatigued and everything like that, you just want to do it enough so that you can keep those glutes primed up and fired up and ready to go so that you can feel it. And by the end of your workout, you're really going to feel the emphasis on your glutes and where you're supposed to be focusing at while you're doing your compound exercises. Okay? Okay, so let's go over everything we learned today for activation. So we learned about mind muscle connection, posture, and rep range. The first thing I want you to do is to make sure you prime up your muscles first. So you're gonna go through the glute bridge, the butterfly bridge, and your diagonal kickback. You're gonna do those for 5 to 10 reps before you get into your first exercise for the day, be it squats, sumo deadlifts, or good mornings, which are great exercises for glutes. Before you get into any of those, you wanna prime up, warm up, so do those. 1, 2, 3 activation exercise, then do your first exercise for the day. Go ahead and do that. Take a 30 to 60 second break and then go back to your activation exercises and complete those again. This is going to keep your memory going, it's going to keep the mind muscle connection going and keep the glute fired up, and so you know you're connecting the mind to the muscle while you're doing your exercise. I promise you, by the end of your workout, you're going to be feeling great, you're going to be feeling the burn, and you're going to get more results. So thank you, Fit Gang, for training with me today. If you have any questions, leave comments on my Instagram, leave a comment on my YouTube, anything. I'm gonna look through them, see what kind of stuff you wanna see. I'm gonna make videos about activation, different exercises, how to do them, what not to do, all of the above, all the fun stuff, especially about building your booties, because booties are great, you know? And let me know what you wanna see. I can't wait to make more content with you. If you have any questions, hit me up. It's all good. And stay sweet. Love you guys.